So, with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our discussions. Of course, we have two conventions that have recently happened. Mine was Ponyville Ciderfest over in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And since we're going to go ahead and start talking about it, here is an unlisted 25-minute video from Jay Haller promoting Ponyville Ciderfest. And I say unlisted, so keep in mind you may not be able to find this if you tried looking on his YouTube.
Just gonna have that playing in the background while we chat.
It's only a few seconds.
I wish I could have gone if I had the money.
It wasn't the money for me, it was more the timing.
But don't forget, you also have next year. That's right, I can officially confirm Ciderfest will be happening again next year. So, Ponyville Ciderfest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I actually have been requested by Winchester many, many times to go. And with this year, with BronyCon finally closing its doors, I've been working really hard to check out other pony conventions and see, some other pony ones to haunt. I already added BabsCon and Everfree to my repertoire, and TrotCon went really well for me this year, so I also added that. And Ponyville Ciderfest is now the fourth. I had a lot of fun at this convention. It was actually quite a blast. However, this was also not a very nice weekend for me on the whole. So, everybody be prepared for Circuit Main's Tales of Terror of how he went to Ponyville Ciderfest, but oh, did he have to fight for it. So
I know the Delta thing because I saw it on Twitter.
That's one thing. There was many things, but the Delta thing was one thing.
Delta this year.
Well, let me explain in a moment. There's actually quite a bit to go on. There's a lot of backstory to this too here, but most of you remember last week I couldn't go on a lot of spiels or do a lot of heavy talking because I had a bit of a lingering cough. Unfortunately, that ended up becoming much, much worse as the week went on, to the point where I could barely talk right and I was coughing like mad. Now, it did slowly start to get better by about Thursday, which I was supposed to be flying out. So I decided, Winchester and Steel Cords, who was also rooming with me, were also going to be there, and they both depended on me to be there to make sure that the hotel room kept on, so they had a place to stay. So I went. I was going to go regardless. I was going to go unless I was dying, but I also went to make sure that we all had a place to stay so we can enjoy the con. So as mentioned, I did go on Delta. Now, the funny thing is that Wednesday, the night I was going to pack, I was getting some things set up and I suddenly didn't feel so good. So I thought I'd lay down and take a quick nap. 4 hours later, I woke up. So, yeah, I basically slept the entire time away that I was going to be packing, and I had to do some late night, slightly awake packing to make sure I had everything. Good news, I did get everything. But that was definitely a bit of a headache and a chore there. But I got everything all packed up, and by Thursday, I basically was ready to go. I did have a little bit of a slow start on Thursday as well. Nothing too massively annoying, but I managed to get to the airport, got my luggage checked in, and over to the plane. As I got to the plane, I figured, I have maybe about 20-30 minutes before they started boarding. I found out at that point my flight was delayed.
Uh-oh.
Now, apparently, the airplane, which was flying in from Washington, up north, not Washington State, was recalled back for unknown reasons. I don't know why they called it back, but they did. And because of that, the flight was delayed on my side, and I had a transfer. I was actually going to be transferring planes midway through the flight, so I had to 45-minute leeway, which was supposed to be there. But because of the delay, the leeway was now not going to happen. I was not going to be able to make it to the flight. So I ended up looking at different flights that I could have taken. There was one I could have shown up at about 4 o'clock. I wasn't sure what to do because this has never happened before. Never, ever, 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 ever had a flight that actually got delayed. So I kept trying to decide what I should do, and in that time, the 4 o'clock flight got sold out. So then I had to go to the next one, which is the 5 o'clock flight. Now, this means that I would have shown up at 5 p.m. I wanted to keep that in mind there. So it wasn't too bad, but my initial plan was to show up at 2 p.m. so I had a chance to relax, maybe get my feet down, get a little bit of an idea of the area around the hotel. But that wasn't going to happen in this case. I'm kind of glad I didn't get the tickets to the bar trot then. That would have been terrible. So yeah, we ended up finally flying off, though it was about 2 to 3 hours later. Okay, yeah, I'm not talking about literally jumping planes. Thank you, Commander Something. Though I'm glad you, Commander Something. Thank you so much for that awesome art, though. By the way, that was really awesome, and I'm glad you put it in for the participation there. Back on track. So we get up on the plane, we start flying off, and this actually is one of the newer jets. It looked really awesome. I've never seen it before. It was really slick. About 30 minutes in. We're about 30 minutes into the flight. We're well on our way. Obviously, what can you do? They start talking about there's Wi-Fi issues going on and that they're going to be resetting the Wi-Fi. A little bit later, suddenly all the screens turn off. And all the lights. And then the overhead lights start flashing red. And there's turbulence going on at the exact same time. So we're in a dark plane that got pulled out of a garage. This plane was actually in a garage. That because the previous one got recalled for unknown reasons, and we're in the middle of the air, dark, shaking, and nothing to even try to distract myself with. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the scaredest I've been in a hell of a long time. So I do gotta give Delta credit for literally scaring the pants off of me in the middle of Halloween. Granted,
thankfully,
yeah,
you didn't have to find out what would have happened on that recalled plane.
I don't know what would have happened. And all I know is I freaked out it was freaking out for about 10 minutes. I couldn't do anything to distract myself, or at least pretend that I'm not imagining that we're falling from the sky. But eventually the TVs came back on, the lights got back to normal, and everything was okay. But yeah, for those 10 minutes, I was completely terrified. It was amazing and terrible. But we actually managed to land, and I got it to the airport. I found it funny because we actually landed at MSP, which was where the former con is that the con heads used to do. So I was in MSP to get over to Ciderfest. Go figure. Now, the actual transfer of the flight to the Wisconsin flight, it wasn't so bad. Nothing really bad happened there. I hung out in the airport for a couple of hours. Got on the plane. We flew over. I got to the hotel, no problem. When I finally got there and situated, I actually met up with Inky of the Traveling Pony Museum. So, being the awesome person I am, I put away my luggage and I helped her, as well as the rest of the Traveling Pony Museum, get set up for the con that weekend, which was nice. It was cool. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Steel Cords, Winchester both got there, no problem. I also found out a lot of flights were getting bumped around and delayed. And Wisconsin actually had a massive snowstorm a few hours before I landed. So things were a little messy, to say the least. It was definitely a messy flight. And definitely flight pattern that whole day. That whole day was a mess. So it wasn't just me. It wasn't.
Also, second, welcome to the Midwest, where it's fine one day, suddenly snowstorm, and then it's fine afterwards.
All right. Well, the one thing if you remember, I did say I had a bit of a lingering cough. So, helping out the Traveling Pony Museum while I was in the condition I was in probably wasn't the best thing to do, because by the time we were done, I could barely move my legs and my throat was basically hamburger. Needless to say, for the next 2 days at the con, I was coughing really, really badly. So much so that I actually bought a face mask from Railroad Brony that was there selling face masks as well as his own normal stuff. So I did do the smart thing. I bought a face mask so I could enjoy the con and not cough all over everybody. I did also try to partake of the hotel breakfast, which has unfortunately led me to believe that either hotel food is starting to disagree with me or greasy hotel food is starting to disagree with me.
I would go with greasy.
That's what I'm thinking
that's
too.
A thing.
But
I was about to say, I can't eat any fast food because of that, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't eat too much greasy stuff. I think a little light grease is fine, but no, I mean they were like sausages and bacon and potatoes and I think my diet might have to change when I'm at a convention nowadays. But so anyway,
you just gotta eat a lot more greens.
Anyway, moving right along here. The rest of the convention, that was my trip trying to get to the convention. And while I was out there, the coughing problem. However, I still had a great time. Was a little disappointed because Friday, I did get invited to a few parties out there. Even Winchester invited me to an awesome little room party that was going on. However, I was coughing quite a bit, and I felt like it would have been a smart move for me to go into a big party room when I'm having a face mask and coughing my lungs out.
I think Double R Force posted something in like the con chat of the party.
Oh yeah, no, Double R Force was there as well as Winchester, and it was a big fun time, and I felt so disappointed that I missed it. But I did have some fun there. For the con itself, let's see, highlights. I did get to talk to Fiara, which was pretty fun. I got to check out her latest book. It was huge. This thing is like the size of a goddamn Bible. You could bludgeon somebody to death with this thing.
Is that really such a bad thing, though?
It's not. It's awesome. But I didn't have... I already pre-ordered a copy that's supposed to be getting shipped to me, so I didn't get a chance to buy it yet, so I don't have a picture of it, sadly. But this thing was huge, and I can't wait to show you guys when I do get my official copy. However, I did also talk to Pixel Kitties, who was there. And
she's a good person.
Oh no, it was really awesome because I did talk with her over Twitter a little bit, and she actually had a bottle of beer for me at the convention that she brewed called Nosferatu Cute. It has a Flutterbat on the label. It's really awesome. But no, the con panels, I had a lot of fun. I even went to a few of the musical entries, which Ciderfest, music, and drinking are two of the big things there. BabsCon may be the party con, but Ciderfest has a lot of fun with drinking.
Oh, that and...
Trot is a whole nother monster. But we're getting back in track on that. So, yeah. Speaking of drinking, yeah, I actually was... I did go to a beer share. I had a couple of Utah brews that I thought were pretty good. Actually, they were really good because apparently the passion fruit one, as well as what's supposed to be a heavy lager one, they both got drunk out in a matter of moments. It was amazing. But yeah, no, I had a lot of beer. I didn't get drunk per se. But, yeah, I had a hard time walking back to my hotel room by the end of that. That's for sure. But it was really fun, too, because I got to meet up with Rift Ponies, one of the people of Rift Ponies, who actually put on the auction block a plant. Phyllis. He had a plant. And it's not YouTube. I wanted Twitter. He had a plant that was the same plant that... help me out here. The same plant that what's her face had.
Oh fuck! I actually wasn't paying attention for most of that shit.
No, well, Phyllis. I forget the actual official name of Phyllis here. Here's
ficus.
Was it a ficus?
I thought she said it was a ficus, or no, rhododendron. I think is what it was. I'm sure if I can. I'm sure if I can find that episode somewhere. I think she mentions it right at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, he actually got the plant as part of one of the final meetups in his area. They actually just gave it to him, and challenged him to take it to Ponyville Ciderfest. So he did, and he got it signed by the voice actor for Starlight Glimmer. I think he even got a little bit of art done on the plant, on the pot, and he put it into the. Yeah, here we go. Here's the fan art that went with it. But he actually got this put up onto the auction block for the charity auction, and it went for $170, which is really, really awesome. But yeah, they put it on the auction block for $170. It was glorious. And also, along with Ponyville Ciderfest, another big thing that they did, and I was actually there to see it, and it was awesome. They had the Hooves line is it anyway panel that they normally start doing nowadays, which is really fun. Now, halfway through it, there was a loud pop on the microphone. Nobody knows what that was all about, but they kind of played through it like it wasn't anything important. Then while they were transitioning to their next game, all the microphones died. Everything died. So this was the best part. So really quickly, I can't remember who exactly. I think it was Jay Holler. I think it was Jay Holler. He managed to get up there and he started to sing an opera about trees. Doing a complete ad-lib of an opera about trees, while in the background you could see the entire the AV staff working with a few of the other with Silver Quill back there, ironically, working to try to get the microphones together, and they were able to get everything back and working again during that opera singing. Which was amazing. That was completely amazing that they were able to work like that and keep the show going without any interruptions like that. That was beautiful. I mean, that was pure,
Genius?
Not genius. I forget.
Dedication?
Dedication is one way to put it, but the art itself, improvisation. That was improv at its finest right there. Literally just getting stuck in an unknown situation completely out of nowhere and just being able to play it off like that. That is beautiful. And the best part was near the end when they did the hoedown. The last hoedown song they did, they got the order mixed up. So they're just bouncing the song around between them and just making little jabs to each other that got the order wrong. But no, overall, the convention was great. The people were wonderful. It was just an amazing, fun, incredible time. I wish I'd taken more photos, I'll be honest. I wish I did, but with the state that I was in, I did not. And I'm kind of annoyed at myself for that. But, overall, I had a lot of fun, and I also found out that they are going to be doing it next year, and however long that, people still want to keep coming. So, Ciderfest is another one of those pony conventions that will continue as long as people want to continue to keep pony conventions going. So that's 4 now. That's 4 that have pledged to keep going. That I know of. I think almost all of them have, which is great. I'm so happy to see so many conventions are still going to be going on even after the show is over. But yeah, it was great. It was wonderful. Man, how do you describe all that? Yeah, there was some sad parts though. The one of the big things is that Paper Pony, this was their last booth that they are going to have at a convention. I heard that they are putting up an Etsy shop, but I don't know if it was just to sell what didn't get sold here. Unfortunately, it looks like some of the people in the merch hall didn't get as much of a crowd as they were expecting, mostly because probably the weather and BronyCon draining everybody's funds. But they are moving ahead to next year. They're moving to the Hilton next year, actually. And that was the big announcement. They announced that they're going to be moving to the Hilton, and they had a big party at the Hilton itself on Sunday evening, about the same time I was flying out. So there was no way I was going to be able to attend that, unfortunately. So really quickly, here's some screens that I did take. One of the big things was there was a big joke going on about meme facing with curly hair here. Blah. Cozy Glow with Cozy Glow. Meme facing Cozy Glow. Oh yeah, and I think this is a screenshot that I quickly took of when things were going really wrong with the whole, why did I take that? Yeah, the things were going weird with the events. Blarg, words, the hooves line. Also, got a quick screenshot here. They actually made a cosplay balloon of the same balloon from the, one of these days, I'm just going to have to sit down and actually write down my thoughts of the convention. From basically the Minty Christmas Adventure.
Ew, G3.
Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. Very Minty Christmas. Oh, yeah. Here's a few shots here. Here's a shot of all of the different beers that that we were going to be drinking from. I'm not gonna lie, there was like 8 different coffee flavored stouts. That was really, really weird. And also, Pixel Kitties actually had a fun little game. Pixel Kitties hid the goose from Untitled Goose Game. There was an Untitled Goose hiding in the convention hall somewhere. I found it on this table here at some point later, but I'm sure it was already found by then. But that was just an awesome little thing that they had going on at the time. And also, I found somebody that had a badge of an alicorn bat toaster. Circuit Spooky named Boo. Oh. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I get it. I forgot. I really gotta change my name back. It's no longer Halloween, is it? Alright. So, sorry everybody. I know that was just jointed and weird and all over the place. I really need to learn to write down my notes and thoughts before I actually lose them. But Ponyville Ciderfest, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. If anybody wants to go next year, I highly encourage it. Be sure to check it out. Especially if you're in the Michigan area. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, these are some notes that I took of how to record at home. Because I want to do better for you guys on the show here. But let me go ahead and go to what some of you might care about. The random merchandise. So, yeah, for the special merchandise that they had this year, Ciderfest had ugly Christmas sweaters. So, yeah, I immediately jumped on one of those. So, I got an ugly Christmas sweater. I got a Luna t-shirt. I'm just going to let the t-shirt speak for itself here.
Very nice. Luna all over it.
And I've also got a few more books. I got the GM's Guide to Fallout Equestria, Bat Pony plushie that you can see there, Art of Mercury #7, The Voices Are Telling Me to Hug You, a collection of short stories by a fanfic artist known as author known as Aquaman, Twilight Sparkle Flask, which I actually filled with honey crisp apple vodka. The 2 remaining books that I needed for Project Horizons, as well as a Keep Writing journal from Silver Quill's booth. Along with that, I also got the... I did not get a good picture of this.
Congratulations on getting the 4-part epic known as Project Horizons.
Oh dear God, that was a headache. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it because they did not. They were told to sell the entire books as a 1 through 9 collection, but I think they lightened up on it as things went because they weren't selling as many books. Plus, that was a really stupid thing to sell it as.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a Twilight Sparkle poster there. I actually got it for free with the Bat plushie. Got the Shiba Roll Twilight Sparkle Shipfic folder, Fed Derp, more Shipfic cards. There's the mask that I was using throughout the entire convention to make sure I wasn't coughing on people. Little close-up of the Shipfic cards. There. Also got some pins, Celestia Luna pin, mini Daki of the Kirin, a kazoo. I actually ended up being part of a kazoo band. Twilight Sparkle sticker. Also got an awesome little Pip Boy pin. I got a Sparkle keychain, a couple stickers. And of course I got some more buttons, including one that I'm sure Suki would love, a Vote Yes to Rule 34.
Well, I mean,
Pony inside. I love that.
it's already a rule, so that's an outdated pin.
Yeah, but also an awesome little gold coin with Luna on it. I didn't get a good picture of that, sadly. And the scarf here, there's only one new pin on it on the left side, which is the Ciderfest pin. However, I also wanted to get a shot of this because the scarf was basically my challenge for the entire year. I took that scarf with me to every convention I went to. And every time I got every convention I went to, aside from the anime convention, because I didn't have one, I bought a pin. And I put it onto the scarf. I also put my butt cancer buttons if they had the butt cancer booth there, as well as a few other fun buttons, like there's no wrong way to fantasize and Starbucks. What can I say? I like my silliness there. But yeah, this was my this was my project scarf, so I'm really happy to get all this done. Though all of these buttons and pins and stuff are going to be coming off for the next year's conventions to begin anew. And here we go. I also got a couple of drinking glasses. One of them was for this year's Ciderfest. The other one was the pub trot glass that they had for last year's pub trot that I couldn't go to this year because they sold out in a matter of minutes, and I'm still pissed. They also have, here's the Nosferatu Cute beer. I still have that on my shelf here. I'm going to give it a couple weeks and then I'm going to try it. There's a Nightmare Moon. It's supposed to be a joke on Blue Moon. However, it's just cream soda. There's also Not Your Princess root beer. Normal IBC root beer. There's unfortunately a small story behind that. I put all of these beer bottles in socks. I put them in socks to protect them. And I got them through airport without too many problems. However, it looks like the root beer got shooken up and loosened a little bit because it actually spilled out a little bit and it spilled out all over my clothes.
Uh-oh.
So I had to make sure I wash everything, including the sweater. However, luckily the sock and the clothes soaked up the root beer and everything, so none of the books and papers got spoiled. So, mixed blessing there. Take quick you can get out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. So that was it for my travels over at Ponyville Ciderfest. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I wish I could articulate myself better with words. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Suki so he can articulate with words about his anime convention.
Well, yeah, Anime Week in Atlanta. I mean, not a ton really happened for me there. Just like nothing really too out there that I can really talk about. I mean, obviously, like really the worst thing that happened was that Saturday after we came back here and did our stream for the Equestria Girls thing. We get back over there and it took me half an hour to park. And that was a mess. But other than that, I mean, really just just another fun weekend, and I guess really the interesting thing that did happen out of the weekend. I wasn't in the panel. My friend was because he's more of a fan of it. But they had pretty much the entire cast of Dragon Prince off Netflix on there, and they held a panel for the show, and apparently according to him, he basically got the chance to see the first episode of season 3 early. So, yeah, so that was kind of neat for them. He also did get an autograph from one of the voice actresses from the show because it's the voice actress for Kerfuffle.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so he got that. Yeah, I don't really buy a ton out of them. I'm not a big merch person that much anymore. So mainly I bought anime, actual like discs and stuff like that.
Any notable ones that you're excited to watch?
Well, yeah, there's a show that I got, Nagasarte Aranto. This show came out about 4 or 5 years, a good number of years ago. Me and my current roommate, we watched it and we absolutely loved it, and we thought it was gonna get maybe it might get a release or something like that. But yeah, I mean it was years and years, and finally this year Discotek finally licensed it and put it out subtitled, so finally have a copy of that. Let me see, and that is going to be played on the anime stream fairly soon. It's not going to be the next show, but I think it's going to be after that. Also picked up Hinamatsuri, which was absolutely for me just a couple of seasons ago. That was probably one of the funniest shows to come out. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the English dub on that. Let's see. Let's see. Other than that, I'm holding in my hand something I'm still questioning as to why I bought it when this show was so fucking stupid. Freaking Inukami. If you know anything about that show, oh my god.
All I can say is my very bad Japanese skills and understanding is Dog God. What?
Yes. Yeah, it's Dog God. It's basically a dog goddess and this dude, and this is one of those shows where it's almost ecchi comedy gone wrong. But it's played very dumb, pretty much.
So basically, Okami, but Amaterasu actually speaks.
Somewhat.
I was
except without all the artisticness.
Hey, I'm just doing that.
Is that Inukami with an exclamation mark?
Yes.
The video game.
I can definitely see.
Yeah, it's trust me, the show is stupid, and I was surprised that it got licensed and put out. And apparently, there's a movie. I never saw the movie, so now I have a chance to watch the movie, which I'm probably going to be questioning myself as to why. But yeah,
at this point, we have already entered the rabbit hole. Let's see how far it goes.
Yeah, although it was funny, it gave me an idea to possibly submit for a panel maybe next year. Maybe try and get one going where I talk about show. I do. It's all based on shows that are incredibly dumb, but you love them. Let me see. Otherwise, on the weekend, it was obviously this is Anime Week in Atlanta is the largest mainly anime focused convention in the Southeast. We get I think the estimates were somewhere between 30 and 40,000 attendees this time around.
I believe it. The website definitely has some smoke under it. No, that's not the word.
A fire.
Well, I will go with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some production behind it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is the same area that has Dragon Con, so they know how to deal with.
That doesn't necessarily mean that their anime convention is going to go that strong.
Okay, Toko, here's the thing, though. The Cobb Galleria Center is far removed from downtown Atlanta. Dragon Con is held in a much different place than this is.
Fair enough, not knowing the location, but the cities dealt with that.
Yeah, but that's, once again, it comes down to the area. pretty much Anime Week in Atlanta has now been in the Cobb Galleria for probably 20 years or so now at this point. So yeah, it's not. I remember the first year I went, we only took up one of the display halls in one side, and now we take up the entire event space.
Ooh, awesome.
So yeah, it's definitely fun. But let me think here. So as far as stuff happening over the weekend, quite a few good cosplays. Unfortunately, I couldn't remember to take out my phone every time and take pictures. Did get a couple of them. Like I found a good She-Ra and Catra. Let's see. There were some Bowsettes walking around, of course.
Yeah, I remember there was a Bowsette at BronyCon with a
Yeah.
Luigi with a poker guest.
And you know what? In Circuit, you mentioned the Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
There was a dude walking around as the gardener with a goose and a little rolling wagon behind him.
Awesome.
I remember that in your con chat. I remember here.
Yeah, with a speaker going that was playing the game music, plus occasional honking.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, and then actually, Circuit. If you want to pull it from the OA Discord, yeah, definitely show the Gundam Unicorn.
Okay. Oh, there's the OA Discord.
Actually, I think that's from Gundam Unicorn. I can't remember right offhand.
Hold on. That should be Unicorn Gundam falling, right?
Yeah, it'll be under con chat, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm already on that.
Yeah.
I think my comment is there because
Yeah, you said
I'm a
it was
nerd.
So it was Gundam Unicorn, but yeah, that was funny how I found how this happened. So we literally just walked in the morning and we went into this panel that was just dedicated to. They were basically doing just a little kind of fun game where it was like, hey, here's some clues, figure out what the anime is and guess it. And then at some point, the panel just goes like, oh my god, and we all turn around and this walks into the room. But there's that, and then go ahead and do the last picture I took, Circuit, because that was a fun thing to find on the last night.
Yeah.
Was just walk outside, and there's a dude with a light up Destructo disc on as Krillin. That was just
And
awesome.
below that, I asked, does he have his own counter next to him?
Yeah, but that was fun. Some good panel stuff like there's this panel they run every year that I try to get into. Sometimes it's one of the most attended panels in the weekend, but it's a panel completely dedicated to science being applied in anime. Well, actually, a lot of times it's because something will be brought up that that it's actually supposed to be brought up by like a scientific person in the show. Like he actually brought up how he talked to somebody at the CDC and asked if the Dr. Stone petrification could actually happen, in which he pretty much got a resounding no.
Not the petrification itself, but then again, we have yet to find out how nanites truly work.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. He brought that up, and she said no. Not if you were turned to stone. Yeah. Now, if they turned you into glass, apparently that's one of the things about like cryogenics and stuff like that. They went into a whole thing, but it was kind of a neat panel. I also one thing I was surprised at was there was a panel I went to which I expected just to be kind of a laughing thing, just have fun with it. It was the history of English dubbing in hentai.
Oh,
Which I just expected that to be fun. Just a bunch of like just a bunch of like, hey, look how stupid this is. Look how stupid this is. I legitimately learned something. Because apparently, I guess the first actually adult animated film, it wasn't really publicly like given around or anything, was this movie in 1929.
Wow.
That was apparently a group collaboration between a bunch of people for some animator's like birthday. It was shown as a joke. But yeah, there was that, and then like I saw some work by Osamu Tezuka that is like technically adult and stuff like that. But it was actually a really cool like history on the thing. Like I legitimately learned, and I was like, huh. But yeah. Other than that, let's see. What else? Was there anything else really of note I can think of?
Honestly, it just sounds like a fun time overall.
Yeah, it was. And pardon me. God dang it! I thought there was something else, but why is it not coming to mind?
I think in this case, until it does, we should probably move on to the video segment.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much it. Well, let me put it this way then. So if you live close to Atlanta, anywhere in the southeast or anything like that, and yeah, you want a fun time, it seems like Anime Week in Atlanta is going to officially be pretty much over Halloween weekend from now on. Mainly
Which
because
is not a bad thing.
Yeah, mainly because they also mainly did that because we used to be the last weekend in September. So basically, we are now officially farther from Dragon Con, so it makes it easier to attend. And and we're no longer in the middle. We're no longer at the end of baseball season because guess what? The Galleria is literally across the interstate from the new Brave Stadium.
Oh,
Ooh,